Hola familia. Francisco
And Amia,
at Cervantes Dog Training and Rehabilitation.
and this is Dog Talk. We're going to talk today about energy
Yeah.
because dog training is sensitive work. And
Well,
a
not
lot
just
of that,
dog training. So, here's a story about like our experience just working with in Florida with with this client and her dogs. We we met some. She took me to this place where it's related to energy, and then it's this small town.
Casadega,
Small town, and then it's all about energy, and it's all about.
spiritualism.
Well, we went there, and then you meet people that it's with all different backgrounds, and they all go and come together to this place, and
To
then
Casadega.
and then they talk about energy, and they talk about how they put that energy towards the work that they do.
You go to Casadega for psychic readings. That's what you're talking about.
Well, what else? It goes more than that. It's not just like readings.
Well, no, it is more than that. They
Right,
sell
so, yeah.
stones that help with different energy.
Well, yeah. So the point is that people go there, and then is this group that goes there, and then they all have one thing in common, and then it's about how they can apply energy and the belief of energy and what's you surrounding
in their lives, yeah.
in their lives and in work as well. So that's one of the things that I liked, and it's kind of like it's like they bring their own energy, and it's like a positive energy. It's like they bring the energy around, and it kind of like connects with other people, and then it's just all positive. It's kind of like if you hang around only with positive energy, positive people, and then they all come together in that place. And I exchanged some services with this professional. She's a chiropractor, and she believes strong in energy, and her passion to when she talks about energy, it was amazing. And one thing that I like about this professional is that her passion to talk about energy and her surroundings and how she applies it to work. What is nice about it is that we are different. We do different jobs, and then it all involves in the energy, and then how you connect with that energy. And a lot of us are disconnect with that energy that is in your surrounding, and it's quite good to figure out how to be around other people that believe in that, and not only that they use it in a regular basis.
How does this apply to dog training?
How to
Just a cringe.
What do you always have to talk about dog training?
Yeah, we do. It's called Dog Talk.
Well, we all know that we use energy for dogs.
I don't think we all know that. I don't think we all know
Well-
that. I think some people think training is a game, and I think that when training becomes a game, it's just as insensitive as, hurting a
Well-
dog to get your way.
Well, I think
it's more sensitive work, and it involves energy, and you
it
haven't
is
talked about
sensitive
that.
work for other another professional environment as well.
We're not here to talk about other professional environments. Tell me about dog training.
I think that the point
I
is that
think it
we
is
can
very
talk about
unique the way that you work, and it is unique because you are sensitive to energy in ways that other dog trainers are not. I think that you're very sensitive to dogs and the energy that they're putting out every second, and the way that the energy shifts and changes, and how it can mean different things. You interpret that energy really well, and you come up you problem solve using it. So
Right, but
the issue is that this is a difficult subject to break down, put into words, to share, which is why we're doing this. But that's why you're avoiding it too, because
I'm not avoiding it. I think that we're gonna do this for all the time. So what's wrong with talking about like energy and other experience that you have?
I know
in
there's
life?
nothing wrong with it. You already talked about it. Now talk about how it applies to dogs and dog training. I want to hear about that. They want to hear about it.
Well, so what's your experience working with me and in energy?
I think that you sense the energy of the space between you and a dog in a very sensitive way. And it's interesting because in my dance work, I am all about positioning or blocking in the space and focus and moments of stillness, because I feel the space between dancers. And I love the tension that you can build in that space. I love the connection that you can make, or the deliberate disconnect that you can create with blocking, positioning in space, and focus. So like that's how it applies to me in choreography. Love that stuff. Oh, but
no, there's more to it as well.
Well,
when
I'm
you are
simplifying
you
it.
are
I'm simplifying it.
in stage, there is more to it.
Well,
than
then,
that.
yeah. So you have the energy between performers, and then you have the energy between performers and audience. But I'm simplifying it because we're not here to talk about dance. So
No, but we are talking about energy.
We are
energy
talking
is
about
in
energy.
general.
Hey.
It doesn't.
Well, you asked me to answer a question about the energy that you have with dogs. Like, can I finish?
Okay.
Thank you. There are moments where dogs are completely silent and still, and you read into those moments second by second. And that is sensitive work. And that, to me, it seems like you're reading the space between you. You're reading the energy that's being sent through the space between you.
We tend to be loud. We tend to be really verbal. We bring this sense, this energy that you would think that would apply to a dog, the same way that it would apply to a human. But quite often, the energy in dogs switch really fast, and when you are busy trying to figure out one thing and being loud at the same time, or really what it is not being there 100%, then you can miss things really fast.
Would you say that that the work you do is energy work, or did I just make that up?
No, it is energy. What's important is that energy applies to working within a dog training world, and you do have to make sure that you or not just in trainers, like anyone can do this work if they are willing to listen to the energy around you. If you're working with a dog and you have to figure it out how to keep yourself at a neutral level, meaning that like kind of like a balance. The dog is reading you the whole time.
So wouldn't you say if the dog is reading you the whole time, you need to be able to read the dog, and that's our issue?
Well, it works both ways. You have to be able to read yourself. You cannot approach a dog without paying attention to what you're not just what you're doing, to the way you approach the dog.
So let me tell you about times that I've observed this when watching you work. One that comes to mind is a very large German Shepherd that we worked with that had severe dog aggression. He was decompressing in his crate, and the other dogs were around, and we watched him focus in on a dog with eye contact. Everything was silent. His body was still.
The room got dark.
The room, it felt like it shifted and got dark. It felt evil. Like you could feel
the darkness.
his intent. You could feel that it was from a unhealthy place.
Mm-hmm.
And he just fixated with his eyes on this boxer that we had around. And we could see the eye contact happen between the two dogs. And we could see the German Shepherd stay with that intensity. And then the boxer tried to avoid. He moved away and sat down further away from the crate. So the only way I can really describe that experience is that you could feel the space between the two dogs. You could literally feel that dog pushing the other dog away with its eyes. That's it. And you could feel I want to say evil, but that dog wasn't evil. Like I wouldn't say any dog was evil, but the intent was from a very aggressive place. The source was aggressive. And for anyone who knows, like, have you ever been to the grocery store and you're like in the line and you get to the person who's working and that person like hates their job and that person is like, you know, like slamming the groceries around, shoving it in the bag, and like you can feel its effect on you, like it makes you feel like icky inside. Like that's how it was. The other time that I can remember was a dog with resource guarding issues, and you were working with that dog, so you had food down, but you weren't allowing that dog to eat until it had a healthier state of mind. So you were waiting, and you said that you had, when you put the food down, you got a bad feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that that's part of the energy work that you're describing. Like, I think you were feeling the energy and the way that it affected you, and you knew that wherever that came from was not in a healthy place, and that it did not have good intentions, and that you may possibly be in danger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I watched you continue to work with that dog, and that dog did not make a sound. That dog was laying down. It was with the dog's eyes, the way that he looked at you. It was like the "I hope you die" stare. Which, again, I think that's a good way to describe it, because the German Shepherd that I brought up before, he had that same stare, the "I hope you die" stare. You know? Yeah. And the you know, the worker at the grocery store who hates their job, you know? Like, it's the same sort of like, "I hate this so much, I hope you die" stare. You know? Like, I feel like it's all related, and it's all energy, and it's the way that that energy travels through the space. But it's often silent. So how do people become more sensitive to energies? Obviously, some people are naturally more sensitive than others. I'm very sensitive, and I can feel energy very easily. With people, that comes in handy, and I know how to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
With dogs, it makes me that insecure person, because I feel very intense energy.
Yes.
And it scares me, and instead of like giving me confidence that I felt that energy and it's confirming that yes, you're right, you feel that energy, it's more like, oh crap, because I don't know how a dog responds to that energy. Right.
But they're two. I don't know if they're two different things, but there's something to it, because you are really sensitive with energy, and through the work that I've done, and you have help at times, you connect that energy, you put it together once you get going. And it's if you're open to the idea, it's if you're open to it.
I'm open to it, but
right. The only thing that is in your way is that you become that level with the neutral, the insecure part. Your thoughts are so strong that
I
you
have
become weak.
I have an intense fear of being harmed. I don't trust. I don't trust insecure energy in dogs because I'm afraid I'm going to be physically harmed.
Right. And that energy, the dog knows.
Right. That's why.
That's what they're looking for.
That's why I don't work with aggressive dogs.
Right, and that's exactly what they're looking for. A dog that has issues and it's insecure already, or also you have the other ones that they have aggression, but they're more like secure about themselves, they're more dominant. What they're looking for is, are you afraid? Are you afraid of what I can do?
Yeah, the answer is yes.
And if the answer is yes, this dog automatically is going to say, well, I'm not trusting you already. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes sense, but I'm telling you right now that the majority of people are going to be in my situation. And
right.
What are we supposed to do? Like fake it until you make it?
No. What we need to create an environment that, and this is where we want to head at some point, clinics.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll take some safety precautions, you do what you need to do, and people are going to bring their dogs, and they're going to share what's hard for them to do, the dogs, and then they're going to participate, they're going to do what they need to do, they're going to get the experience, but they're also going to have the chance to see other dogs in action.
Mm-hmm.
They're also going to see what it is for other human being to struggle the same way or worse, or even a little bit less than your case. And they might have different types of dogs. And then the way you gain this experience is to watch, meaning like more hands-on. Even if you're watching and then you're there. Because it's one thing to record the energy.
It doesn't show up.
But it doesn't show on the video.
That's what's amazing about it. I recorded that moment with that German Shepherd and that boxer dog. I recorded it because I was like, oh man, this is so intense. We need to share this. And when I played it back, it just looked like one dog looking at another dog.
Right.
And it's because you couldn't feel it.
And that's what we're missing.
And like the tension,
right.
Even the stare wasn't the "I hope you die" stare in the video. It just looked like he was looking, and that's the thing. It's like
you cannot compare that. You cannot compare that with action, with like not real action, but like physically yourself being in there and experience what not only the other human being it's going through in that moment, but yes, the real experience would help people to know and how the energy builds up on a dog, but I think that the best thing to do, and we love to do that, is to educate people as much as we can and prepare them, because it is I love it because you see people that they don't know a lot about dog training, right? And then you work with them, and then it turns into a passion. And then some people that it takes a little bit, but they're like, oh my God, it connects, it clicks.
You connect with another being in a very intimate way.
It's really intimate, that's for sure. I love the way you said it. It's really intimate.
I think a lot of our relationships with our dogs are pretty superficial.
It is.
And there are certain training methods that are very superficial.
But
it's a little bit of an art.
It should be an art.
It is. It
I
should be.
think it's an art.
It should be it should be considered an art.
It should could be
And it's
considered
not.
an art.
And most people don't realize its importance until they get a difficult dog.
Yeah, it's sensitive in a way that is dangerous at times. You're exposed way too much, and I like the action. I like the physical. Even that I am really cautious, but I liked a lot of the times I am exposing myself, and it's dangerous. It's not a game. But I really do love how you build the energy, the release of the energy, how the human learn how to, a lot of the times for the first time, how to control that environment, how that energy plays a big role. And a lot of it is just pretty much controlling yourself, being in control. And it's beautiful to see that energy. And that's what I love about this, the passion that I have for this. It's that the energy just goes, dogs and humans, they go. And what I like to bring is more stability for the human. So the human is not going by like down and up, like it's not going like this, right? And the whole thing about this is that if the human feels in control,
And has a clear mind.
it has a clear mind and it has an environment, and that energy is a clear and neutral energy. That's when you gain control, and that's when you gain confidence. I love that, and then I love to show people how to do that. What we need is we need to make an environment that is going to help people, whether they're slow, they're learning really slow, or they take a little bit of time. We need to create an environment that is respectful enough for any kind of people. Does that make sense? It's like you bring all these mentalities, all these personalities together to work as one.
Well, and like create an environment where it's okay to make mistakes.
Right.
Because
true.
Sometimes when you're reading energy and you haven't really mastered it, it takes a mistake to be like, oh,
Right.
I missed that, and that's why that happened. And then next time you don't miss it because now you know what you're looking for. And I think like with dogs, they're not allowed to make mistakes. So
or
that
we
can
feel
make it
like
difficult.
we
and
feel
when
like
dogs
people are
make
gonna judge you.
mistakes, when dogs make mistakes, we often, push that onto a person, making it a person's fault.
Right.
We very easily do that. So
I think that it's difficult when you have other people saying the opposite, but meaning that they don't believe in what you do. I strongly believe in what we do, and it's not fake. It's also not magic, but it is something that I really love to do.
And it gets you hooked when you see it firsthand. When you see it, and it's so, it's presented right in front of you, and then you make connections about it, and then it all kind of comes together. It's really the progress is addictive.
Right.
When you gain,
you want more when you see something and it works, and you're like, well, let's work, and then.
Well, and that's the thing.
I
think we think that we have very deep relationships with our dogs, but if your dog has any sort of behavioral problem at all, your relationship could be deeper. And I think it's extremely rewarding to gain that new relationship, that new piece that you were missing. It's rewarding for all sides.
Right.
So, okay.
Was that?
Yeah, it came
Good.
together.
Good.
It came together in the end.
So, again, our passion, or because she also has a passion for animals, and she likes.
I have a passion for energy.
The positive outcomes when you work with energy with the dogs, and they do get better, or even the handler gets better. That's what I like about this job is that you get to see the positive from dogs and the positive from humans. And that, to me, that positive environment is what? Why not teach other people to feel that way?
Right. Well, and that positive environment is not necessarily without consequence.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about, you're throwing the word positive around a lot. It sounds like you consider your balanced training method to be very positive.
More than positive, it is.
Right.
It is something
So-
that and then you mentioned that it's not horsemanship, but it's the how do you say it?
Dogmanship.
Dogmanship. I think that we need to go to basis. We need to go back to basis and because basics. Just because I feel that we lost that touch. I think
Yeah.
that's what we're looking for. That like that
Yeah.
thing that we were talking about, like not judgment and then how creating the environment.
Yeah.
And I think it's all because we have forgotten about what it is about how to be around animals in general. Period.
Don't you think maybe also it's that we are overwhelmed with ourselves?
Yeah.
We're so overwhelmed with
Well, I mean,
ourselves and
jobs,
our lives and
the
the
whole
way
thing.
we feel that we become cloudy.
Yeah.
We lose touch even with ourselves. So then in a
We do.
situation where you need to connect with another being, but yet you're so cloudy within yourself, it's almost like now you have two barriers. You have the barrier that you've put in with the fact that you're overwhelmed by how you feel and you don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to find clarity because you don't regularly practice that. And then that compiled with the dog's own issues. That's a lot that gets in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Because those feelings, that energy that you feel, can trigger the opposite of what you don't want from a dog that you don't understand.
Right.
It could create something else that you don't want.
Right.
And-
So almost like, and this goes back to what you said in the beginning when you were all like pissy with me, is that all of the energy work that we do for ourselves, like what you were saying about like Reiki or crystal healing or yoga, any sort of work that we do, meditation,
Cracking bones. Oh my god, it was awesome.
acupuncture, all of these things that we do to improve ourselves, connect more with ourselves, find peace, find clarity, can directly affect your relationship with a troubled dog. And
Right,
since
right.
so many of us want to be rescuers,
I think there is a need.
That is-
I think
that
there is
is-
a desperate need for people to that do wanna. They're open and they're confused. They don't know what to do. And then I think that there is a need for people. I mean, those people are looking for something, for guidance. They're looking for the ride to be in the right track.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. There is a big thing now where we all want to rescue dogs,
yeah,
but there's something missing.
yeah,
And no one wants to tackle that part, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think there is a huge mistake, and I think we should be more prepared. And
don't you think that like a difficult relationship with a dog is a direct reflection of a difficult relationship that you have with yourself?
yes,
Like a lot of the dogs with behavioral issues that you meet, they have a human that has some difficulty as well.
yeah,
And most of the time it's anxiety. Wouldn't you say it's anxiety?
a lot of the time.
Because then they get overwhelmed by the experience, they lack clarity, and then their actions are not.
right, and then they show it to you in a different way.
Either that the owner has anxiety, or it's that the owner is not assertive.
Or they don't know what they really don't know what to
They
do.
don't know what to do, so they don't know anything. They don't do anything, and then. Right, so in that way they're
Right.
not assertive, and then
Yes,
that's
yes.
when
True,
behavioral
true.
issues arise. So if you have a dog that has behavioral issues, take a look at yourself.
I work with a lot of people, and then that's where I'm heading. I don't want to hear the light things. I want to go deep in there so I can help you. But I think that you have to accept how you feel. You
Yeah.
have to accept that you need
Right.
help and you need to do something else. Because it's positive because you change the life, or you can at least show an opportunity, a window of opportunity to people, and they're realizing that, crap, why didn't I do this a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
But doesn't matter. You can go, you can create a new picture if you want to. You have to work hard, but, and then, and that's what happens. I love it. I love it when that happens.
We should wrap it up, and to do that, I think you should smooth me out.
In your third eye.
Yeah, on my third eye. Thanks. I feel better already. This part holds a lot of tension right here.
Yeah, so
Starting a show. All right. Well, thank you all for watching our show. Until next time.
see ya.
Bye.